to Kings of Kimuras, your one-stop podcast for everything from mats to the stars. Join us as we dive into the heart of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, explore the thrills of MMA, and groove to the beats of music. But that's not all. We're also venturing into the unknown, discussing aliens and the mysteries of the cosmos. And of course, we'll be shooting the breeze, sharing stories, and laughs along the way. Get ready for a wild ride from a universe of topics. Strap in and prepare to explore the world of BJJ, MMA, music, aliens, and more. Let's roll.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Kings of Kimuras podcast. This is our first episode with a third guest. So we had our camera guy, Dang, come in. Dang has trained with us for a long time. Not just a camera guy, but, that's kind of what you've, evolved into doing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Filming for the academy.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, when I was considering having you as a guest, about that, conversation that we had where you were like, man, I'm doing this photography thing. And of course I'm summarizing, but you were working a job and you were like, man, I'm thinking about doing this, but it's a big chance. And I'm like, yeah, you just got to go do it, dude. If that's what you want to do. And when you did it, I didn't consider the power that my words could have on a situation like that. But you went and did it, and then you became really successful at it. It's your full-time job now, right?
Yeah, I took it to heart what you said, and I actually did. It took a while, but I thought about what you said for a while, and then one day I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I went off on a limb and I did it.
How many years has it been that you've been just doing photography now?
Just photography? Well, yeah. I do photos and videos, but photography.
Well, I'm combining those.
Okay,
two, so.
Since I want to say 2016, 2015, yeah, and then I started with weddings, and then it just transpired to multiple things for the academy now.
Yeah.
So yeah, real estate, just.
What do you think is the easiest thing to get into as somebody that's doing that? Is it weddings, or is that
Oh, no. I wouldn't say weddings. I would say families first. Start with family.
Yeah.
And then small groups of people get comfortable with it, and then you expand to bigger. Mm-hmm. So you just got to be comfortable with what you're doing behind the camera pretty much.
Yeah. And then it's just word of mouth thing, or is it advertising? What's been your biggest part of your success?
I would say word of mouth. I meet a lot of people when I shoot events, and then from there they ask for business cards, or they'll see the product that I deliver, and they'll be like, I want that guy.
Yeah.
So pretty much.
That's cool, man. Mm-hmm. And then you trained jiu-jitsu too, right? Or
yeah, I did. I started with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the hardest part of shooting jiu-jitsu, do you think?
The hardest part of shooting jiu-jitsu, I don't think it's hard at all. I think it's fun shooting jiu-jitsu for me because I know what to look for. I know where to stand.
Yeah.
I know where to move. And that comes from doing it, though. If
Right.
I didn't do it, I could see where it would be hard if I didn't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I think that's more what I was going for is people that don't understand jiu-jitsu of being in the wrong spot. I know for me, I film too, but it seems like I always end up behind somebody. You know what I mean? No matter, it's almost that smoke and fire, you move to get away from the smoke. And
Yeah.
You're all of a sudden you're back in the smoke again.
I'm very aware of where I'm at and stuff like that, so I know who's behind me, who's on the side, and I just kind of try to stay out the way and get what I need to get and not get out.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for him?
Have you gotten any offers for because I knew this one guy in college who he wrestled with me on the wrestling team, and he I think he shoots now for concerts and stuff like that. I think he has a job with a concert hall or something like that. Mm-hmm. Have you had an opportunity to shoot any concerts or
No, well, one cool thing about my job is I got to meet a lot of cool people. I got to work with a lot of celebrities. I had a chance to go to Des Bryant's house and hang out with him.
Oh, that's sick.
Met a few NFL players there. Landed a lot of gigs, real estate jobs, not just weddings. So yeah, I do a lot, just more than weddings, and yeah.
Have you ever had anybody, because this is pretty common in the jiu-jitsu industry, have you ever had anybody like, look, you shoot these videos for me and you'll get some notoriety off of it, you know, like almost like they're expecting you to do everything for free.
Right.
You know?
Have I had any of those, you said?
Yeah, but like, let's say with a celebrity or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much. They'll use their fame. They'll be like, oh, you'll get a lot of followers off of this and that. Yeah, I get some of those sometimes, but.
And that shit never pays off,
No,
right?
it don't.
Yeah.
It don't. I mean, for somebody new who's like, oh, it sounds good, but it never pays off. After a while, you'll start to see like, oh, they're just using me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably the same in like all industries, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure, like, just going, because I see a lot of people on social media, they always say, like, oh, well, like, followers equals money. And it's like, well, that's not always the case.
Yeah, not always the case.
Followers are not willing to spend money. You're not going to make any.
Exactly.
And, it's very rare that you get Instagram or YouTube to pay you for what you're posting. Like, you have to have, because I was looking at it for my own page, and I think it's, you have to have something like 10,000 followers minimum to start making money or start monetizing your content on Instagram. I'm sure it's like even more for YouTube or something like that. But yeah, you're not in a, even if you start doing that, you're not going to be making enough to like sustain yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what it is for YouTube, but it's you have to have a certain number of followers, you know, like I guess like Instagram as well, right? But you're still making like small percentage on YouTube unless you have a lot of views. That's like with the B Team stuff when they did the CJI, they had like millions of views. So I'd be surprised at like what those numbers were that they made off of that, man. Because they let the event happen for free. You make all the money off of the advertising.
Yeah.
What about like buying followers and stuff? How do they differentiate the difference?
I think the buying thing, they start to like crack down on that because, you know, they can tell like all of these, typically you like buy followers, it's like a bot farm, right?
Right.
You know, so they're like all coming from someplace in like Bangladesh.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, how the heck are you so famous in Bangladesh and you're not from there? You know, so I think Instagram can kind of see that sometimes. And then like a lot of people, you'll see how you can tell that they like bought followers is they may have like 30,000 followers, but the interaction on the page is where like that comes in. You look at, they've got like, you know, 1,000 views on like most of their reels or something. So
yeah, that's what like streamers and stuff do sometimes. There's an actual website where, because obviously like Twitch doesn't release that information, but you can go on other websites and you can see how many of the people who are in the stream are actually real people and how many of them are just bot accounts, you know, that are paid for already. I never ever thought about like buying followers at any point. Like even when I started like doing more social media stuff, I was like, well, the people who are going to like this content are going to find their way to my page anyway. I don't have to try to buy followers to make myself seem cooler.
The little blue check marks. Buy the little blue check marks.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing.
How much do you pay a month for that?
I think it's like $10 or something like that a month. But the reason that I did it is because it allows you to do different things to make money off of the social media.
But you're a public figure though. Like you need one of those.
I mean, I'm not very much of a public figure. You
know? They know you at a lot of places from what I hear.
Yeah, but jiu-jitsu related
places, yes.
Which is like in a niche market. You know, like if I'd been smart, I would have been like a soccer player or something.
Soccer player.
Well, that's why I think that guy Matt Arroyo, you know, like he's a jiu-jitsu guy, but he gets like Dave Bautista trains with him.
Sure.
So I'm sure having a guy like Bautista in your video is like gonna bring a lot more
That's
viewers
a boost
in.
for sure. Yes.
Yeah. You might get a lot of hate too, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah, depending on who's watching.
Yeah, but that guy Matt Arroyo also was in the UFC, you know, for a while, and like, well, I don't think that like brought a lot of fame. Where he's had the most success is he like, you know, kind of like what we do with the videos. He was like one of the original guys doing that, where they're making these content videos for social media that are like get you engaged. You know, they're very short, to the point. But I don't know what his numbers are, but you know, it's probably like 100,000 or more. You know. Yeah,
he's having good success, and now he's doing some of those like reaction videos, like real time reactions, where he'll be watching something on his phone, and you know, in like the top corner, you can see actually like what he's
Oh,
viewing.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And then he'll like give you a live reaction and then like a little reaction after that, like what his thoughts are. So
that same company that he's working with, I talked with that company about working with them to do the videos before we started. And they gave me some number and I was like, good grief, I can't believe somebody would like pay for this.
Was it pretty high?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, it was like $4,000 a month to have them like manage your social media and to post to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok every day. So they would like come and film enough content for like 2 months at a time.
So they'll come one day and film the whole
They'll film 2 months worth of content. And yeah,
God,
I know, it's like a
$4,000
10, 12 hour day probably. And they like help develop all the hooks and everything,
right?
You know, so they're like doing a lot of work for you, but you have to like on top of the 4,000 every month, you have to pay them to come out. So you pay for everybody's flight. It's like 3 people. They come out, you put them up in a hotel, and so you're probably looking like every other month, you know, $9,000 to like build some followers. And I'm sure it's good, and you'll see a return eventually, but. That's a lot of money to put out, you know what I mean? For like something that you could like completely get banned on. You could like make the wrong thing and get banned.
Yeah, say the wrong thing and just get shadow banned. Like even not just a straight up outright ban. You could just get shadow banned to where people have to actually like look up your page like letter by letter, word by word to even find your content.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do the same thing on Twitter, you know, because Twitter does allow videos and stuff now. But I wonder, like, what is the length of the video? Is it like 60 seconds or? You know?
With Twitter, I remember. So like when I had Twitter, this was like before Elon Musk bought it. Dude, I was seeing some crazy stuff on Twitter, and the length of the videos are like they're pretty long. You know, I was seeing like anything from like long form to short form content on there. But dude,
everything goes right.
Yeah, it was like the Wild West, dude. I seen like motorcycle accidents and like full like graphic nudity, like graphic violence. I'm like, dude, this is a platform where like children are on, you know, and teenagers. Like,
yeah, but I feel like Instagram, you know, they allow a lot of that stuff, but it's like there's like loopholes, right? It's like the whole like I've heard Joe Rogan talk about the like fake breastfeeding videos.
Oh yeah,
that they just get like a doll, and like they're able to, you know, expose themselves. So, and then like the death one, they'll just like instead of putting it in the content or the post of what's happening, they'll put like drive this new Range Rover, right?
They'll use AI to like I've seen that in the caption.
And so what they're doing is they're like getting in the algorithm, because apparently the algorithm only searches the text. So if you put like death and murder and gun and all those things in there, it will like block you. But if you just put like something random that has nothing to do with the video, you'll get more views on it.
Or it's like I see in some videos on like the YouTube Shorts, people like if they repost like a movie clip or something and it has like the word like let's say like rape in it or something, it'll like they'll like bleep out the word in the subtitle. So like the audio still plays, but in the subtitle they have to like censor the word.
Okay, because it's looking for the words. Huh?
Yeah, or something like that.
Can it read text off of images or anything yet?
I think so.
It can?
I'm guessing.
I would imagine if what he's saying is they're like having to blur out the word, you know, but they can still audibly say the word, you know. So I would imagine the AI is reading that.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. We're getting 1948 vibes over here.
I mean, definitely YouTube is the one that like it seems like it's the most what is the word? Like anonymous. You know, because you can like make some account, you don't have to put like anything public on it, and you can just comment like the worst stuff. You know, if you go on our YouTube for Corvo, the comments are like always some like crazy stuff. You know?
Like
some
what can they
weirdos,
say? What can they say? What's the weirdest you seen?
The weirdest thing I ever saw.
Here, let's pull it up real quick.
I think it was something about like, man, all these guys have big butts.
Oh, wow.
But it was like a guy that was commenting this. You know?
What did you write back to that? What do
mean,
you even write back?
I just write like first class is free, you know. Like maybe this guy signs up and trains to black belt, you know.
Here, let's see. This one has 18 comments.
Do you cater more to the Instagram or the YouTube, or what do you cater more to for your videos?
Probably Instagram, but I really like YouTube a lot. Like I watch a lot of YouTube. I feel like the wide variety of content on YouTube is a lot better, and where Instagram kind of like builds that algorithm to like be the worst stuff that you know what I mean. Like they're really trying to push people. I feel like to get reactions. And so it's nice to go to YouTube where you can just like watch a video and not have to look at any comments.
Are you looking for the weird comments?
Yeah, this one just like doesn't even make any sense at all.
You could pin the weird comments too now, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So this is the one where Tony's showing a technique from the underhook, and somebody commented, "I found Louisville really helps with takedowns." What? That doesn't make any sense, bro.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those comments on YouTube are like, it's weird. And like I said, you don't have to like post who you really are, you know? So you can be, where I feel like on Instagram, people can find out who you are, and Facebook, people can find out who you are, but on YouTube, it's like the Wild West.
Anonymous, like Reddit.
I guess the same thing for like X or, you know, Twitter. Like you can be that like egg character. I don't know if they still have that or not, but like originally,
egg character.
You just didn't put a photo, you put like an egg.
Yeah. You didn't have a profile picture. Yeah. I mean, you can do that on Instagram as well. Like people will have their main account and then they'll have like a burner account where they'll like just talk shit on.
But those accounts are all connected too, though. So if you like, let's say somebody creates a burner account and you block them on their main account, they can't see.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You would have to like have a completely different email and log out and log in.
IP address.
Yeah.
I was like, you might even have to get a different phone too, right? Because sometimes they'll like,
that's true.
The phone number will be connected, the same phone. So I don't know how that works. Or like maybe you got to connect it through WhatsApp or something.
Sure.
There's always a workaround.
Third party.
Yeah. It's wild, dude. And like, I could never see myself just like making a burner account just to like talk shit on somebody else. That's so like odd to me.
There's a coach of an MMA team here in Dallas that one of their athletes was telling me about how he has like multiple burner accounts. And so he can like go on your page and creep, you know, and like watch your story and see what you're doing. And he'll like do it to like watch other gyms and other teams and stuff. Like, man, if you got all this time, your guys should be like winning every fight.
That's what I was gonna. Yeah, that's a lot of time.
But
you're
like
to do that.
Now you're like spending all this time on doing everything that you have no control over, and your guys are like continuously losing. You know, I wonder how many of them actually know that he's doing that. But you know, it's such a weird behavior. Like I think about all the stuff that I do during the day, and for me to like go through the effort of like create another account to like go creep around, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, you just need to like go outside and touch some grass, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get off the internet ASAP because I mean, if we get hit with the EMP, that the internet's gone anyway. So
Have you seen those bags now that they have where you can put your phone in the bag and you set a timer on it? So like you can, you know, your phone only unlocks out of this bag, you know, like every 3 hours or something like that.
Really? I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen also one that's like, it literally looks like a jail that you put your phone in.
Oh, really?
And it'll like, it's like a time lock like that. I think even in school, I remember like one of my teachers, I think maybe like my government teacher or something like that, would always like collect our phones at the start of class and like put them in like some kind of lock thing where she had the key to.
Okay.
So it's like, well, I hope she doesn't lose that key while my phone's locked up in there. But yeah, I mean, kids get so easily distracted. Like even something as little as like your phone vibrating. Like even if I think my phone's vibrated, I'll like immediately look at it and I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, I came from the era where cell phones were not around until like I was in my 20s. But the big thing in school is like people would like play on their calculators, or like at one point they came out with a watch that had like a universal remote. So we would like program our watches to the TV in the classroom and just like mess around turning that on. So there's like always been something to get distracted on. But I couldn't imagine having a cell phone and like being in school. I'd be so bored with class that I'd be watching videos and stuff.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And or like I would play this game, Jetpack Joyride. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's like this. You got this little character, and he has a jetpack, and you're kind of. It's almost like Flappy Bird.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
the
I
dude-
have seen that. Like you would like fly and like crash into things. And
Yeah, you have to like tap it and like fly
Yeah.
through obstacles. Dude,
Okay.
what's crazy about that Flappy Bird game is so many people got like upset that the dude started getting death threats and took Flappy Bird off of the App Store. So people started selling these iPhones that still had the app installed. So if you had it installed, it wouldn't like uninstall it or whatever. People started selling these iPhones with Flappy Bird on them for like thousands of dollars on eBay.
They were actually buying it?
Yeah.
Is that game still around?
No, there's a version of it. I've seen it in arcades where like
I've seen that before too.
yeah, it's like a 2-player game too. So like you and another player are like working through these obstacles and like tapping it so the bird flies. But if you tap it too many times, like flies up to the top of the screen. So you have to be careful. You have to like.
Kind of reminds me of the like swimming levels on Mario.
Oh yeah,
Where you like have to keep tapping to like swimming over and over again.
yeah. Those are that game was. I remember playing that game for like a couple days and then I just get too angry, man. I rage, man. So I had to uninstall it.
Let's talk a little bit about that PGF, the Professional Grappling Federation. They said it's like 7th season or something.
Think so, yeah.
I've kind of been like out of the loop on that. I'm not because I wouldn't watch it. It's just it's on Fight Pass and it's a whole other thing. You've got to go up. Like if they could just make a deal with Flow or like even have it on YouTube, I think it would like get more eyes on it than.
Yeah, that's what they were doing for a while, I think, because there's definitely some PGF matches on YouTube.
Maybe they just posted them there afterwards or something.
Yeah.
Or I guess
think
early
so.
on, maybe they didn't have the deal yet.
Yeah. But yeah, having it on Fight Pass kind of sucks because just doesn't
Not
bring as
everybody
many
has it.
eyes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that watch Fight Pass, but they mainly watch it for the fights. I don't know too many people that are getting it just for grappling.
Yeah, for sure.
But the mat area seems really small. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's maybe like a 15 by 15 or something, or 20 by 20. It's just not for what they're doing. I feel like they could, as much money as they have in it too, because there's like $1 million at stake or something like that. Or
I think the winning team just got $500K.
okay,
Oh, nice.
So pretty nice.
so
Is it like the Craig Jones thingy?
no, it's different because it's a team-based event instead of like an individual. And Craig and those guys were pretty smart in making that like alley where it's like the side walls. Where this one's just like a rollout mat in somebody's living room is what they make it look like.
Yeah. Because there's couches around. So like you got the teams, right? So each team has like a sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think one of them's like a recovery clinic, something like that.
It's a sponsor you've never heard of.
Right.
Like,
And so you got those guys sitting on like couches on the edges of the mat. And I was like, dude, take these couches and like move them over here and like have more mat space.
yeah, there's only enough space in between the couch and the mat for a person to walk. So when these guys go flying off the edge of the mat, like they flew into Hodger the other night,
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Like you got all this money and you can't spend, another $5,000 to extend the mats.
Or put the pit. Like I think the pit is a great idea. I don't know. If you're going to do a professional grappling event, I think you should absolutely have the pit wall up because you're not going to be flying out of bounds. You're going to crash into that wall, and then you can't even use the wall really to like stand back up. So
yeah, there's two sides to that, right? And to play devil's advocate here, like those guys didn't prepare that way for this event. I think you almost have to. I would prefer to see the pit, but I'm just saying, like now we start adding a pit into these different events, people are going to have to be forced to build it, right?
yeah, that's true.
If you don't have one in your gym, you're definitely doing yourself a disservice by not. It'd be like getting ready for an MMA match and training on a basketball court.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
this hardwood floor hurts, dude. Maybe it'd be better.
No walls,
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
Like, good luck defending a takedown inside the cage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. I know that I've seen some gyms like they almost like completely. I saw one gym they put it all the way around the edges of the mat, like the pit is like all the way around. I'm like, how do people even get on the mat? You have to like climb over the wall, or is there like an opening? I don't know.
I don't know. I saw in like the actual event, it's like the corner swings open, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I saw that too.
But I think you would just have to like have it where one end is open. I don't know. I think in our next gym we'll end up building like at least 2 walls that have the pit, because I foresee a lot more events starting to have something like that. Plus, I'd like to train on that. You know, it's frustrating when you roll with a guy and he wants to like push you up against the wall. At least with that, you can like reverse and throw him onto that slanted wall.
Yeah, for sure. And then you're gonna like slide right down it.
Yeah.
Is that something you see grappling transition into the wall?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
Like ADCC and all that. You think they're gonna switch to that, or they're gonna keep the format as is?
I don't think so. I think ADCC won't, just because of the like controversy between CJI and ADCC.
Just out of spite.
But I think something they did do this time is they extended the outside mat area. You know, the biggest problem with events that have a flat area is like the like notification of being close to the boundary is like a 1 mat, and then you're out of bounds. I think you have to have your boundary, and then we got like another 10, 15 feet, because sometimes you shoot a takedown on the edge of the mat and it goes off the mat. Like IBJJF is pretty common for that, right?
Yep.
And if you're going to allow people to play on the edge of the boundary, then we need to have a safe area outside of that boundary for people to work. You know, not go on the concrete. I mean, it's exciting as a fan, but as a competitor, that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, that's scary.
Like, that match with Cody Steele, like where I'm off the mat by like 10 feet and they're like in my shins. I can't go anywhere. Like I'm pinned against the table.
You can get injured like that.
Yeah,
too.
They were like, I was so afraid my knee was going to get kicked or something in one of those transitions, and like I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
And I'm just a spectator. So
Bro, I'm just watching, man.
Yeah.
You're like going into like the t-shirt racks. And like they're almost going into like where the sponsors are, you know?
They were far off. And I think that guy kind of like anticipated, I don't know who it was he was going with, that they were going to stop. And Cody's like, no, we're not stopping.
I'm going to choke you out of bounds. Well out of bounds.
Nogi Pants was this last weekend. And, you know, like you were saying, they were allowing people to go past the yellow. So for those of you guys that don't know, IBJJF mats are typically blue and yellow. The blue signifies the middle section, which is like the area you can move on. And then the yellow is notification of being close to the boundary. And then the blue on the outside of that is like basically out of bounds.
And they were letting people, I know in my first match, there was a good significant portion where we're on the yellow and we're still going, like we're still rolling. And like in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, they're probably going to stop us here pretty soon.
Yeah.
But they didn't really. I mean, with the action kept going and we kind of ended up rolling towards like the inbounds anyway. But they were letting stuff go like on the yellow, like well onto the yellow. Especially like submissions and stuff, which I think was one of the number one complaints I heard about IBJJF rules was like, let's say you lock up like a Darce or an Anaconda or something and the guy's rolling to defend and you guys get right to the yellow and then the referee just stops it like immediately. Because then they reset you in the middle. You get 2 points for the deep sub attempt, but then you reset on the feet.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to give the athletes more time to work, even when they're on the yellow. You know, I understand if they're like rolling under the table, like, okay, now you can stop the match. But if you're on the yellow, you know, it's not like a small mat space either. It's like pretty wide. So let the guys keep going. And I think they took some feedback from that. So this is one thing IBJJF has done right, I think.
Yeah, those mats are hard as hell, though. Like they're the hardest mats that I've ever trained on or competed on. And I think that it's the same ones that they've had for like 20 years. You know, they just like stack them up and put them in a warehouse somewhere. Because my understanding is they have mats in each major city, and they just have them in a storage building, and the guys go and pick them up. That way they don't ship them around. That's how they can do like 3 or 4 tournaments, you know, a weekend across the United States.
Yeah, those mats are unforgiving. I know I got some scars on my elbows and stuff from like shooting singles or like low singles and just absolutely burning my elbows on the mat and like or the tops of my feet. like trying to wrestle on those mats or trying to wrestle up even, your feet just get destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, I go and take a shower that night and I'm just burning from head to toe. I'm burning.
Yeah. Going back to that PGF, I think that, because it is just like one group going at a time, they should do like a subfloor or something,
Oh, like
slightly elevated. I mean, it doesn't have to be like, 2 feet off the ground, but like 6 inches up or something. Use those Fuji springs.
Yeah.
Something that is like, I'm always thinking about how to make competition safer, and I don't think it would be cost effective to do it for IBJJF. But for like a super fight or something, surely like people can invest in that,
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's cooler for the spectators too, because like you don't want to see guys just constantly get reset. Like, keep the action going,
Right.
And that's what ADCC's been trying to do, but then they don't extend the mat space.
Yeah.
Like you have the boundary, but then after the boundary, you got just concrete. So, but yeah, this last go around, they had a little more mat space off the mat, so guys weren't just smashing their head on the concrete.
Yeah, it just seems like a smarter way to do it, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But so for the PGF, it starts as a team event, and then so I think team that health clinic that team ended up winning with Ryan Aitken and some other studs on the team. Now they're in the what they call like the playoff series. So now it's like an individual. I think it's a 16-man bracket.
So it's like the winners of those two teams, those guys get to.
So in PGF, if you get submissions, like you score points.
Yeah.
So the way that it looks is like the guys who have gotten the most submissions or the most points now advance to the playoffs. So it's 2, 4, 6.
How do you make the team on there? How would you make a team for something like that?
I think it's just you're picked, right? I mean, there's no qualifier or anything for that.
Yeah, it's like an invitational kind of thing.
Okay.
But I feel like some of those guys that were on there, I'm like, how did this guy get an invite?
They probably won the So like, there's qualifiers. Yeah, there was a qualifiers in Vegas. There was a qualifiers in Austin. That's where that Sebastian Attard. I feel bad saying his last name, but because I'm gonna, I don't feel like I'm gonna butcher it, but he won. Yeah, he won the Austin one. So yeah, that's how he got on there. But yeah, there's like qualifiers all over the place.
Okay.
Can you get cut too as well?
No, but I know that there are some injuries that happen during the event, so they have alternates that they'll invite. Like Abraham got an invitation to be an alternate, so he's had a couple matches because it's grueling, dude. I think it's like 12 matches over 4 days or like something like that. It might be more. It might be more than that because you gotta it's like a round robin. You're fighting everybody who's in there. So yeah, I think it's actually like 16 matches, which is crazy over 4 days.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of like major injuries, right? That Davis Sorry guy got heel hooked.
Yeah.
Was it heel hook or straight ankle?
Ryan Aiken put him in an outside heel hook.
And popped it, and then there was a other dude that got Z-locked.
Oh yeah, Porfirio. Yeah. I think he was out after that. I haven't seen him.
To be. Yeah. I mean it was a loud pop, like something tore.
Yeah, that Z-lock.
You even see the referee. The referee's like, freaking out, and then there it goes. Like, I don't think people respect that Z-lock as like a real thing, but that lateral knee bar, man, is real. You're like forcing the leg to swing out and bend at the same time in a way it's not designed to do.
Yeah, it's putting all that pressure right there on your MCL. Oh,
yeah.
I'm just going to tap. That's, it's very simple. You don't want to take damage, just tap early.
Yeah.
If you get stuck in that thing deep, it's over, dude. Just tap, or you will. Because at least with like an inside heel hook, you might be able to like slip slightly to where you're not taking as much damage, or you can hand fight. But there's really no like hand fighting out of that position because I know like the way that Joseph did it on his Who's Number One match, he had the position and then he just kind of cupped the outside of his leg and then extended and pushed his knee inward. So there's really no like ability to hand fight or do anything like that. You just end up eating the break. And so, definitely got to be careful on the Z-lock. You got to watch out for that.
Didn't you have like a bad leg injury at one time?
Doing jiu-jitsu or just
No.
Yeah, I tore my ACL and MCL.
Okay.
Yeah,
You had to
so-
have surgery?
Yeah, I
No
did.
bone break or anything?
No, I broke my arm, but the ACL and MCL was bad. My legs got caught in the grass and my knee went one way and my leg stuck. So.
Oh,
Did they
Yeah.
replace it with a cadaver or?
I can't remember. It was so long ago. I know they put this little string in here and they just.
Yeah.
They said when they looked at it, the ACL and MCL was completely gone.
So they probably had to either cut it. They didn't take it off of your body, right? They didn't go because sometimes they like cut your Achilles or your patellar
No, yeah, they didn't do
tendon.
none of that. No.
I wonder if they took a cadaver.
What's the worst injury you had doing jiu-jitsu?
Worst injury? Probably tearing my patellar tendon. That was pretty bad. I tried to foot sweep a guy
Oh,
like 260.
okay.
And I nailed the foot sweep, but my knee gave out in the process.
How long were you out for?
It was probably like, I don't know. I didn't do everything correctly, so it was probably
Rehab wise, is that what you mean?
I didn't do anything correctly. It's like I just like was like, well, my knee is hurt. I'm just not going to train for like 3 months, and then once I could like train again, I started training.
Right.
And I was like, well, the way to handle this is just don't work out your legs.
What about you, Don?
The worst injury that I've had is probably when it's got to be one or two. Like I was out for probably the same amount of time, but it both happened on my left leg. Either my MCL tearing off of Kani Basami, like the flying leg scissor, or I got put in a knee bar at the B League tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it ended up tearing my lateral meniscus. So I'd probably say my MCL, but I lucked out on the meniscus because it tore like the smaller part instead of like the big meniscus. The medial meniscus is like the big thick one. So I didn't tear that one, thankfully, but yeah, the lateral meniscus ended up tearing a little bit. So I'd say probably my MCL, but I didn't need any surgery on it. It just hurt my ego, and it hurt for like 3 months. But after like a month and a half or 2 months, I was good enough to like start drilling and like do some light rolling here and there. But really the thing is just like range of motion, like when you hurt your knee, my knee was like stuck like this for probably a good 2 weeks until I started really focusing on like moving it around and like trying to put weight on it. But yeah, I didn't do any PT either. I just focused on like moving it as much as I could. But yeah, the doctor said I didn't need any surgery on it. So it was like almost a full tear. It's like a grade 3. I think after 3 is like a full tear. So my MCL was hanging on by like a thread.
Oh my god.
And that's what saved my MCL there. So yeah, probably that was the worst one that I've had.
I think like for me, after I didn't do anything to it for like a year, I was like, okay, I got to do something. And I went and had PRP done in it. And then a lot of rehab and like working with our trainer, like, a lot of squats. And I still have like issues where it clicks, but most of the time I don't have any pain.
Okay. So you don't have like no long lingering pain from injuries?
I mean, my whole body. Really.
I mean, doing a sport like this, yeah.
I feel like I have little things here and there, but there's nothing that like prevents me from living a normal life.
Right. Okay.
But also, I'm a big believer in like peptide use.
Okay.
So if I'm 42 years old, so I started using that stuff at like probably 37, 38. But peptides are, I feel like, safe for everybody. But it definitely is like a gateway thing into that like pharmaceutical understanding of like how to better your body. So but I think it's important to do stuff like that. If you do a sport like this where you tear your body down, you should be doing everything you can to repair it on the other end. That means like eating well, exercising, doing peptides, getting your blood work checked regularly, sleeping, lack of no alcohol or lack of sugary foods. I mean, it's a whole lifestyle. If you really want to dedicate yourself to this and like be like, I wouldn't say great, but like be above average.
Right.
You got to do a lot of things, man.
You feel like training alone is just enough? You have to.
No, guys that just train or guys that have injuries.
Yeah.
Like I think of like how many guys that we have that are like, they got like 100 different braces on, and like, hey man, do you lift weights? And like, no, I just do jiu-jitsu. Like, dude, weightlifting is like armoring your body.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because your muscles are your armor.
Yeah.
So like your tendons and your ligaments, that's just like the connective tissue. What's gonna keep that safe is your musculature. You know, like if you want your knees to be strong, you gotta have a strong quads. You gotta have strong calves. You have to have strong hamstrings. So if you're neglecting that stuff and you're just doing jiu-jitsu, yeah, you're pretty much asking for something to get injured at some point.
Yeah.
You know?
So how much is too big? Because we were talking earlier, me, you, and Blake. You said having big thighs wasn't a good thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like where's like the medium ground that you would say?
It's like a give and take. Yeah, I'd say I don't know, like muscle wise, like muscle mass wise. I'd say like I'm pretty happy with my legs right now. Like I don't get injured too much during training. Every injury that I've had that's been major has been like during competition and stuff,
right,
when stakes are a little higher. But in terms of like everyday training, I feel pretty healthy. I feel pretty strong. So I'd say like not much bigger than what I have right now. Guys who can squat like 400 or 500, like, yeah, your legs are really strong, but that's also a lot of muscle that needs blood. And like if you're rolling constantly, you're gonna get super tired, especially if you're doing a lot of wrestling or doing a lot of like standing passing, where you're squatting down and you're really focused on getting engaged in the quads. Yeah, you're gonna burn out pretty quick. I mean, even like Michael's lost a little bit of muscle.
That's what I was thinking about when you asked this question. Is like your body will naturally tell you where you need to be. Okay. If you're like, you come in here and you're super muscular and you start training pretty consistently, your body's going to eat that muscle, and you're going to like drop size for sure. But with that comes like increased cardio and movement and dexterity, all those things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because Michael, this guy, just for context, he comes in and he's a blue belt. Comes in, he trains pretty regularly. But when he first started training, he used to be a bodybuilder, or like aspiring to be a bodybuilder. So kind of get an idea of the kind of training he was doing and the kind of size that he had. And he's still a pretty jacked guy now, but I can definitely tell like his movement's a lot better. He has better cardio, but he's lost a good amount of that just overall muscle mass.
Right.
Again, he's still in great shape, but his body has now like adapted to the style of training that he's done.
Yeah.
And
that happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then you have guys that are like not necessarily, look the type for athlete. I think of like Brad when I think about this. Like you look at him, he's like an athletic guy for sure. But if you're like, man, that guy is a peak athlete, you're like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But then you roll with him, like, okay, he's got cardio, he's got strength, he's got conditioning, like very difficult,
Yeah, a very hard rolling with Brad, and he feels like iron when you try to grab a hold of him.
Yeah. There's sometimes where I like try to split his legs, and I feel exhausted by like just trying to push his feet apart.
Yeah, like trying to leg lock him is almost impossible. Like it's ankle locks only.
Yeah. Ankle locks. I don't think I've ever heel hooked him.
I think I've got him in like a couple here and there, but I have to like afterwards. I'm like, I just had to work.
Had to work
hard.
for that, yo.
Yeah. Trying to work this.
The next major event for you is Nogi Worlds.
Yeah, the next major.
Okay.
That's in December.
Yeah.
In Vegas. I always like competing in Vegas. I think it's just like one of those environments where it's like you're almost like overstimulated when you go there. So you're not really like chilling at any certain point. Like you're always doing something.
Right.
Which I kind of like. I like being in that kind of mindset when I'm going to compete. Is like trying to stay like, just a little bit above baseline, to where I'm focused on the task at hand, but I'm also excited and like I'm not just here on vacation,
Every time I think about competing in Vegas, I go back to the year that I went to Master Worlds, and it was myself, JB, and Susan, and we're staying at that hotel that's attached to the convention center. I forget what it was called. But we get there, we check in. It's been a long day of traveling. We go straight to the elevator. We get in like, damn, it smells like shit in here. And I look back and it's like a elevator full of people. I'm like, does anybody smell that? They're all like
used to it,
being quiet, and we go up and some people get off and like, well, it wasn't those people. It still smells like shit in here. Well, then we go up a couple more floors, and there's like one old dude in the back, and he goes to get off, and when he walks out, there's just like shit all down the back of his pants, over his shirt.
Oh my God,
I'm like
dude.
gagging because now, like, I've seen it, and the door's closed, and I'm still in there breathing it, and all I can think about is like all those fumes coming out of his ass, going right in my nose.
Dude, that's so disgusting.
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever been involved with. The only thing worse is like had it gotten on me,
Yeah.
Oh no.
If it got on you, we're fighting, bro.
Yeah.
We're throwing fisticuffs.
But yeah, that was my last time staying in that hotel. But I think we're gonna stay there this time, so we'll see like what shenanigans happen.
Right.
Because it is one of like the cheaper hotels, and it's like connected to the event center, so it's not just one event, right? I mean, that event center is huge. I don't know how big it is, but it's like, the size of like, I don't know, 100 Walmarts or something.
Yeah.
It's massive.
You got a bunch of halls everywhere.
Yeah.
There's like, I think there's up to like the letter F. So you got A, B, C, D, E, and F halls in there, and they're all gigantic. So yeah. Last time I was in Vegas, dude, I almost saw this security guard because I was staying at one of those like hotel casino places. So I was like outside, and I almost see this security guard like fight this homeless guy. He was like, "Hey, you good, man?" The security guard asked this homeless guy, "You good?" And the guy goes, "Why? Do I not look good?" And then they start just like going back and forth. And he goes, "Let me see your ID, man." He's like, "No, I don't have to show you anything. Like, you're on a power trip, man." And then I see this other security guard come down this ramp on a bike and like pull this like skirt maneuver up to this dude. I'm like, what is going on here, bro? These security guards here at this casino, this homeless guy might be right. They might be on a power trip.
Yeah, power trip. Mm-hmm.
Well, think about how many homeless people they have to deal with too in Vegas, man. I wonder where they all go in wintertime though, because it gets cold as hell in Vegas. At nighttime, it like drops below freezing.
I think they go like underneath the city. I saw some like documentary thing where these people are like living
in the storm drains and
yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah. But I mean, the problem with that is when a flash flood happens, like
you're dead.
Yeah, I haven't ever been in Vegas when that happened, but I've seen video of where the streets are just flooded, like 2 or 3 foot with water. So yeah, if you're underneath the street, you're gone, man.
Yeah, you're a goner. You better get out of there fast or you're getting swept away.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll leave on a high note with homeless people getting killed in Vegas. So can't top that one. Appreciate you coming out and being part of this podcast. It was a lot of fun. And
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more with like a third person. So it just adds like another element,
Yeah, this was fun.
So appreciate it, guys. Make sure you tune in, watch us, check us out. Look at our YouTube page. Dang is the one that does all the filming for that stuff. So if it looks bad, don't blame me.
And that's a wrap for today's Kings of Kimuras episode. Thanks for joining us on this epic journey. Remember to keep training, stay curious, and always be ready for the next adventure. Until next time, keep your guards up and your minds open.